afternoon, Stitch Roadies. Well, welcome back. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for stopping by. And if you are new, thank you for giving us a moment to try us out and see if you feel comfortable here. This is a channel about cross-stitch, stitching, life, thoughts, books, everything that makes up the beehive, which is where I do most of my crafting life. Well, today is Memorial Day, and I have to tell you, I don't live very far from a national cemetery, and I spent the morning with my cousin, and he and I just had an enjoyable sit in the garden kind of day. It was a long time coming. Our lives are busy and our paths just needed to cross today. But on my way home, the traffic was backed up on the hill, and I realized that being that it's Memorial Day, they actually had to have traffic people out there with their flags to direct the traffic, because the sheer volume of visitors to the National Cemetery, which has been decked out in all its glory for over a week, there are thousands of American flags because they put one on each resting place, and it's it just kind of takes a moment. It does take a moment, but it's a beautiful spot at the top of a hill, and there were hundreds and hundreds of cars. They were diverting traffic so they could drive through one way and come out the other way. Yes. You just have to take a moment, don't you? Anyway, I got home and I decided to get on here with you. It is a beautiful day in the Portland area, and I have some progress to share with you, a book that I started that is, it's going to be one of those I can't put it down. In fact, as soon as I'm done recording this floss tube, I will be listening to that book because it's my audio book. And the book is called, just so you have an opportunity to get it on your list, is by Jojo Moyes, which is one of my favorite authors, and it's called Someone Else's Shoes. And it is just a short synopsis about a friendship between two women who did not know each other. They went to the same gym, and one woman accidentally takes the gym bag, which looks like hers, home, and so ends up having to wear the shoes that are in the gym bag. And yeah, she is a very interesting author in that she opens your heart to different concepts as far as life in general. So I think many of you would enjoy that book. So Jojo Moyes, it's her latest book. I will just start with the finish. I got my finish back of Here Be Dragons, and that was the cross stitch that I was doing as a gift, and it is from, I got the whole patterning kit from Evertote, so it was stitched in Leo and Roxy Floss. Gomez was the color, and it is modern folk embroideries pattern. And so here is my finish. I put museum glass on it. I'm absolutely so pleased. I am so pleased that I got it done in time and that it turned out so fantastic. And it brings up the thought process of, if one can change, if there's things about the way you live life or your own sensibilities and you want to make that change, you don't have to do it big time. You can figure out ways to maneuver that brain and heart of yours to give you those successful moments. And this pattern of stitching that I have developed for myself, and I'm not telling you that you have to do the same thing. What I am saying is that you need to figure out what works for you. And maybe what works for you this month doesn't have to be what works for you next month. So my pattern of stitching now is that I stitch whatever I want during the daytime. I quilt whatever I want during the daytime. I don't have I don't have an agenda that I have to keep on. That doesn't particularly work for me in terms of my entire life. I never studied for a test until the night before, and term papers were written like that when they were due. I don't want to admit too many of my shortcomings in that way, but I just knew if I had a schedule, a die-hard schedule, it wouldn't work for me. And when you watch all these different floss tubes, everybody is trying to enjoy their crafting life, their stitching life, and they're all sharing all of the ways that they individually do it. Just know that they're not saying to you, this is what you have to do. They're giving you their thoughts, and you get to decide, will that work? So what's working for me this month is that I stitch whatever I want during the daytime. At night, though, I have a dedicated stitch, and that is a stitch that I have some kind of future timeline on. It's either got to meet a gift date or whatever. And it's that stitch that I stitch on every night when I'm watching television with G. During the daytime, it's whatever moves me. And so I will be showing you what is moving me. And then I will show you what happened with the dedicated stitch, okay? I have a gift exchange ahead of me. After summer, there's going to be a gift exchange. And I thought, rather than wait, I should think about that now, because I don't want to be caught with my floss down. You know what I mean. And so it took me a little while to go through all of my charts and figure out what I wanted to do for the gift exchange, because I do want to do, I did decide on doing a needle book. So I needed a cover. I already know what's going to go on the back of the needle book, but I needed a cover for the needle book. And I discovered this kit that I had for this. And I got this at Acorns and Threads. And it came with the floss and the little buttons, the bee buttons. But what I discovered was that this particular pattern, the way they published it, was that only one corner of the chart was printed, and it's printed on this back side. So when you get that one corner stitched, you're supposed to rotate the chart and do the next corner, and then rotate and do the next corner, and rotate and do the final corner. was not going to happen. That was literally not going to happen. So what I ended up doing was I took my card down to my printer. I increased the size by 150%, or I increased it to 150%, and I printed out 4 corners. And then I taped them together. So this is my 4 corners all taped together in one pattern. That is going to work for me. and so now I feel much calmer. It's kind of funny how a little thing like that will just go, what? I'm supposed to do what? I don't think so. And I saw the finished, Jolynn, who is a finisher at Acorns and Threads, she had finished the model, and it was hanging at Acorns and Threads, and it was just so beautiful. I just loved it. So that is going to be a start soon. That is going to be a start soon. So during the daytime, this last few days, what I have been stitching on was I decided to do that next Christmas Rules. And I think I showed this to you last time. This is by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I got this from that quarter shop. They sent this to me. And I'm not on any particular schedule. I just want to get it done before Christmas. And I am going to finish it into like a quilted wall hanging. But I was down to right here, hang your stockings. And so here is, now I'll tell you something here. So here's hang your stockings. I'm not real excited at how the white doesn't show up as much on this, but I think once I do the quilting border and everything, I think it'll be okay. I can see it better than you can see it, but there it is. So I've done 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm all ready for the next one. And then I decided to stitch the next day of Tiny Modernist Halloween calendar. And this was, I can't remember where I downloaded this from. Might have been from the Tiny Modernist website. But on this particular project, what I'm doing is I'm doing 2/2 on the grid and the Happy Halloween. But all the motifs that are in the calendar, I'm using 1 thread. 1/2. And I just loved this. So here it is. And number 5, having grandsons, somehow that one just kind of cracked me up. So like I said, I'm doing the word Happy Halloween and the whole grid 2/2, but the motifs I am doing 1/2. And I can't tell you what fabric this is. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't fill out one of those library card things. So what about the dedicated stitch? Okay, last time I showed you, my dedicated stitch was the Blue Flower Forest Home, which you can get at Acorns and Threads. This was the 2022, one of the 2022 projects. Janine and Lindy were the featured designers, and I loved both charts. I loved both charts, but this one I knew was going to be for a specific person for birthday. But let me tell you what happened. G asked me to update his calendar with the schedule for the next 4 months because it's very busy. And so as I was updating his calendar, I suddenly realized that there was another stitch that had to be done before this one. So I had to switch dedicated stitches midstream, which is, you know, nobody's the boss. I'm the boss of me. So I had to do that, but I was having such a good time with this. So I'm going to have to come back to this. It's going to just take a little bit of a break because the other one has to be done first. But let me just show you what I got done. So here I am, and I can tell you 100% those trees were so fun to stitch. I cannot tell you how fun that was. And that moth butterfly. I cannot wait to get back to this stitch. But it had to go on a little hiatus because I had a panicked moment where I thought, oh my gosh, okay, no. This event is happening before that event, and brain fart. So what did I substitute? So the current dedicated stitch, which is my stitch every evening, is Primitive Hare, Spirit of the Woods, the Owl. And I got off a little bit on the words, but I decided to not take them out until I got the owl done to see how he sat there. So here's the bottom. And I think I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. This fabric, which is, now I got the chart and the fabric, because Janine carries at Acorns and Threads all this fabric and all of these charts. This fabric was a 30 count Boylan linen by the Primitive Hare. Boleyn linen. I just love the look of it with the writing and everything. So here it is. And I don't think I will have a bit of problem meeting this deadline. And it's interesting because this linen is so easy to stitch on. It is so easy to stitch on. And I thought it was going to be hard. But I'm enjoying this, and I'm so glad I updated G's calendar because I had a oh my moment. I had a oh my moment. I'm continuing during the daytime when I feel like it to stitch on this to put into my shaker box and Blackbird design, and I'm using 30 count, and here's where I'm at on that. And I will be mounting that. So what else is ahead for me? Well, back quarter shop, we're doing a stitch along, a start along, whatever along, and I'm very excited about this. When they sent out a notice about it, it wasn't even a nanosecond of indecision. It was yes, please. And this is Summer Memories. So you can get this at the Fat Quarter Shop. the first half of the book is quilts. So if you aren't a quilter, but you want to be a quilter, these patterns are doable. If you never want to be a quilter, it doesn't matter. This book is so worth it because the quilts are pretty pictures. And in the last half of the book are cross stitches. And it was the cross stitches. When I saw this, I said, yes, I am ready. I am ready to do me some summer, 4th of July, Americana stitches. And so that is, well, here's maybe a bigger picture on the back. That bowl with all those fun little pillows. So if you want to join us, go onto the Fat Quarter Shop. This is called Summer Memories. I'm going to start the first one on June 1st. I ordered, I decided I wanted to do it on a, this is a fabric flare, and I thought that it's a 36 count even weave. I'm going to make tiny pillows. But I got it because it had silver sparkles, and I thought that would be fun. Now, I don't know if I just can't see the sparkles that much because it's in this plastic bag, but this is the fabric that I'm going to be using. I'm very excited about this. So, Fat Quarter Shop, Summer Memories. Yeah. That's going to be fun. I just love this one. I just have to, well, they're all cute. They're all really sweet. But I have got to do this one. That hot air balloon with the flowers. And then I was sent a suggestion in the comments, and that's why I say, you know, even if you have a little bit of time, kind of peruse the comments, because there's a lot of great suggestions in there. And one of the comments kind of sent me to the Fat Quarter Shop, to the fruit section for the hashtag Fruit Salad Sal with Java Girl Stitches, Christy and Anna, her friend. And I just love this. I just love this one. So I got that for a summer stitch. Yes. Watermelon is one of my favorite. Actually, when I was pregnant with my first child a couple centuries ago, yeah, that's all I would eat was watermelon. I was just like, I couldn't get enough of it. Poor G was, you know, he had to go out and figure out if that was a good melon or not. Because I loved watermelon, and I still do. I still do love watermelon. So I think that is everything I wanted to share with you today. It's been the weather's been really weird. Like, it's cold in the morning, but then it'll warm up a little bit in the evening, and even all the weather sites can't predict correctly. They all say something different. So it's been quite an interesting thing to decide what to do each day. And I've been hanging out with my grandsons a lot more. But I'm still getting some stitching in the evening, which I don't know about you, but I find that that kind of centers me for the day, and I feel calm and ready for the next day. So thank you for stopping by. I do want to ask you one thing. I was actually thinking, I almost don't want to say this out loud, but I was actually thinking of doing a whip parade. So let me know in the comments if that seems like an interest. It's frightening to me, but the reason I wanted to do it is that I was watching Aaron, 2 Martini Stitches, I think it was Aaron, that was working on a Whip It Good. It's called Whip It Good. And I said, I have that whip. And then I looked and I couldn't find it. And so I said, did I never start it? I could have swore I started, because I know I bought a cabinet, a little hanging cabinet that it would fit into. But for the life of me, at least at this point, I have not seen it. And so I thought maybe I should do a whip parade. Although the thought of it is just, it's kind of like folding your quilting fabric up to make it neater. You suddenly realize how much you have. But let me know, should I do a whip parade or should I just be okay with it, huh? Okay, you guys take care. Know that I enjoy our company here. If you have a chance, I'd really appreciate that thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Love you guys.